Okay, Mom, I'm doing my Module 6 interview with you. So here, this is Linda. This is my mom.
Good afternoon.
Mom, how old are you?
I'm 65.
Okay. Did you know that disability is only 70% in your 40s, but increases to 30% by your 60s?
Yes.
Okay, great. Um, okay. So question 2. Did you know that 14% of hearing loss is usually happens in midlife? It's most common by the age 30 for men and 50 for women. So, what are the visible signs of aging that you have noticed that are happening at the same time in your life?
At the same time in my
So,
life.
like right now.
So like right now, the joints don't work as well.
Hmm.
Your memory does not always be there when you want it to be.
Yes. Okay. All right. So moving on to question 3, which is about family hereditary issues. So, from one of my resources that I have in my class, fewer than half of adults in midlife exercise. Only about 20% exercise to achieve health benefits. So, does our family have hereditary heart problems, cancer, hypertension, or diabetes?
All of the above.
Are you aware of the signs and symptoms of these health problems?
Yes,
Do you do lots of preventative screening?
I do.
Okay, and you try to take care of yourself in regards to any of the hereditary issues you have.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So moving on. This is another one about our cognitive and intellectual area. So adults tend to think in more practical terms than adolescents. So like moving in, living a learned life, like you've experienced things. And your tactic knowledge increases as you get older because you have had that life experience.
Right.
Okay? So, since entering this stage of life, have you noticed any cognitive, intellectual decline in how you make decisions and remember things?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
So, what has declined?
Oh, it's it's uh, it's it's hard to explain because there is things that I know, but I just can't get them to come out.
Yeah.
It's there's situations I know I've been in that I've handled before, but I just draw a blank.
Have you noticed like an intellectual decline? Not saying do you feel dumber, but
No, I haven't really noticed that.
okay. All right.
No, I haven't.
So then we will move on to relationships. This is a fun one. So there was a study done by Huber and Haroff, and they defined marriages in 5 major types, which are conflict habituated marriages. So like they are mad at each other all the time. They're angry, and but they just do what they have to do. And then devitalized relationships, passive congenial relationships, which means they just stay together because they have to stay together. And then vital marriages are rare because these are people that do experience deep love, but for sometimes there's a disconnect. And then total marriage, which I feel like you and Dad have,
Yes.
because it's a very deep, intense relationship, and usually that equates to when one spouse dies, the other one has a hard time living without them because they're so dependent on each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, how have relationships changed with others since entering into this stage of life? So, for example, spouses, significant other, parents, children, co-workers, or neighbors. So,
Really?
has relationships changed? Has your relationship with Dad changed?
Only gotten better.
Good answer. What about with us?
it's harder with you guys, just simply because I know I have information that I can give you.
Mhm.
And when I try to give it to you, well, it's not done that way anymore, Mom.
I know, but how
But,
awful.
so
So
but
I have
think-
3 older sisters and a twin sister. So, but I do know that we've all relied on you for motherly advice on how to raise our kids.
Right, right.
So,
But
so how do you think things have changed with your coworkers over time?
it hasn't really. I mean, it's harder. I work with women that are not that much younger than myself.
Mhm.
So it's, not changed that much, but I do notice that when there's a younger group, I want to mother them. And I have in the past had a situation where I had a young gentleman that worked underneath me that, took me like I was, a stepmom.
Mhm.
And he valued what I gave him and used what I gave him.
Cool. Do you think you have lost any respect as you've gotten older? Or do you think you've gotten more respect?
Depends on the generation. Depends on the generation.
Mhm.
I mean, the younger generation, I've lost respect.
Yeah, I can understand that. So speaking of careers, people over the age of 50 seek meaningful careers as much as they are seeking income. But I'm sure you have realized this. Midlife people your age experience discrimination because of your age.
Yes.
So, what is your career at this time?
I'm a team lead at a male facility.
Okay. And are you comfortable and content with your career? Why or why not?
No, I'm not. I think that the companies take advantage of people these days. They don't value what an employee does for the company. They have let people go and not replace them and then just disperse their responsibilities to other people. So I feel that in a career for a person my age, we do the job of 5 to 6 people.
That's a shame, Mom.
It is, but that's the way society is let it get.
Mm-hmm. So, a second part to that question is, do you want to advance or change your career in the future? Why
Yeah.
or why not?
I am. I'm going to retire.
Yay!
And what? Well, 5 weeks. I'm going to retire and enjoy the summer with my husband, and then in the fall, just get a part-time job. So I don't want to just come home and sit.
Okay, that leads perfectly into my next question. So my next question is, but before I tell you that, I'm gonna let you know. So to achieve health benefit, for promoting exercise for the 78 million baby boomers, which you are, is one of the best ways to reduce healthcare costs and improve quality of life. Meaning that you guys have a very large generation that eats up quite a few resources, and things would greatly decrease if you guys would be more active about taking care of yourself. So with that being said, what lifestyle choices have you had a strong impact on your life, on your health status? So what choices have you made that has impacted your health?
I keep active.
Mm-hmm.
I work. When I work and I move a lot.
So you're physical.
Yes, the job I have is very physical.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have, when I took my 65 and went on Medicare, I made sure that I had a plan that had the silver sneakers,
Mm-hmm.
so that once I do retire, I'm gonna go to the gym at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
So I can make sure that I stay active and
That's good.
physical.
So, if you could change your choices from the past, what lifestyle choices would you change?
None.
None? You're good with every choice you've made?
I am very content and very happy with every choice I've made.
Good, Mom. Okay. So, this is the last question. And this is just kind of what you've experienced over your life, but more towards, this. So, we have, we read in our book one of the people that had a hypothesis about midlife crisis. His name is Levinson, and he defined midlife as the time for a developmental crisis. So, and there was a 10-year study done on this, and of 23% of the participants, they reported only having a midlife crisis. So that's a fairly low number. So leading into that, do you predict you will have, or have you felt like you have experienced a midlife crisis?
Yes.
What was your midlife crisis?
It was hard. I was right after I went back to work, and you and Laura were graduating from high school. Your sister Amanda got married. It was like, oh my God, I'm old. That's how I felt.
And it was all at one time.
Yeah, I mean, within a span of 3 years. I mean, I went back to work, you graduated, Amanda got married, Ian was born, I lost my dad, there was a rough time, and I'm not going to say I've been in a continuous state of midlife crisis, but starting in 2000 and since, it's been rough.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to a good point and something happens and it just knocks you right back down, and then you have to work to get to a good point. But that's life. You don't do it just through a midlife crisis. You do that just for life. But that's what I noticed, a big change.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing this interview, Mom.
You're welcome.
And I appreciate you helping me on this.
Well, I'm going to help you get a good grade.
Well, thanks, Mom.
Love you.
Love you.